4, 3.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of the EMPI Insider with your host, Corey Ryder.
Hey guys, we are back for another exciting episode of the EMPI Insider. I'm your host, Corey, and we are super excited today to have this guest with us. Many of you guys saw this stuff kind of building up to the show, up to this point. Super honored to have him here, first of all, and we're going to talk a lot about the stuff that's going to go down this year. Stuff that's transpired, stuff for SEMA already. We're already talking SEMA, and it's already May. Testing out some awesome new equipment as well. We got actually multiple camera angles now, and we're going to be able to share with you kind of some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we're doing here. You probably saw a snippet of it on our Instagram Live a little bit earlier today prior to the show, just to kind of redirect everybody. But it's just been an awesome experience so far to keep building up. And for us to do that it's been awesome. So, before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to my dude, Eddie, on the mixers and keyboards and whatnot. That dude is watching what's going on. He's watching the comments. He's, making sure. So you guys start getting your comments ready. David Ankin with us from ToyMakerz, the History Channel hit show. Get them ready. We saw the DMs already kind of coming through. We see everybody kind of lining up already on the live feed, and man, get them ready. It's been pretty awesome. So, without further ado, I think we bring him in and get right to it, because I know this hour is going to go by quick. So let's bring him in. David, thank you so much for joining us, man, and for making time for this stuff.
You know what? Thank you for having me, guys. I hope everybody's staying safe out there and just keeping your head down. So it's good to be seen. Been hiding in a shop for months now, it feels like.
Yeah, you got to start working on that tan pretty soon. Get a little
I tell you what, it's bad. It's gray. It's we don't get outside. We just lock ourselves in the shop. So.
Well, cool. Again, you gave a little teaser, and I think that's kind of what prompted this, a little bit preemptive and a little bit earlier than we really wanted to, but I think you're probably going a little stir crazy in the shop. But you did drop a little banger of a artwork from one of your guys.
Yeah, Bitch and Ink. He's great. He draws a lot of my stuff along with Jesse over at Star. But this year I got with Chad Coker at Apple Tree. And of course, he deals with EMPI, and we decided to do a couple VW builds. I grew up with VWs. Well, most of us did, and I wanted to do a couple VW builds. So I got with Chad Coker. If you don't know Chad at Apple Tree, he's a little outside the box, a lot like myself. He's not scared. He'll build some crazy stuff. So I had him put me a couple motors together. Of course, got with Precision turbos, got with Holly, got with a few of my brands, and then just decided to get a little bit stupid, and I couldn't wait anymore. It's like, we do a couple builds a year. Of course, this year I did a really nice twin turbo build for Precision Booth last year and a one-off front engine dragster for the street. But in the process of doing another one this year for SEMA, we decided to do this turbo build here on a VW and do a one-off chassis, a one-off body, a one-off everything, and literally go dead after the air-cooled world just to have some fun. I got a couple buddies. I met Scott Sane a couple years ago, and he's a great guy in the VW world and holds these races. And I got to have a VW to go to the VW races. And what better company but EMPI and get together with Chad Coker over at Apple Tree and build us a couple of motors to go fast.
Yeah, we had Chad on last week. He was kind of our first trial of our dealer spotlight series. So we just had him on last week, and we didn't talk anything about this build. And this has been a build for quite some time, of supplying the product quite some time ago. And I'm going to give a little snippet of kind of the overview above our faces a little bit. But for those of you kind of tuning in, you get a picture of what the sketch looks like. This thing's badass.
Let me running around Facebook, and there's a couple pictures out there that somebody photoshopped and made it look like that. And they used, one picture was a rear mounted VW and one was a V8 in it. And my mindset's, look, if I'm going to go air cooled VW racing, let's try to get consistent. And it has to be a VW, and I wanted to sit inside of it. So we designed a bus with Star Creations and designed a one-off bus that you actually sit all the way inside of it. Built a chassis. It's really, really trick. Spun the motor around backwards, running it through an automatic into a 9-inch, so I can actually run a trans brake on it, get real consistent. Of course, got to run a turbo and some nitrous. So I'm going to do a boosted and juiced VW. And Chad is the guy. Chad's no joke. When you approach Chad from Apple Tree about anything, he thinks that far out of the box, so he gets it. And you're right. It has been a long time in the process, and people don't realize, because they watch TV, they think it happens in an hour. That isn't the truth. If you got to hand build every inch of the car, I mean, the motor plates, the chassis, the suspension, the body, you name it, you hand build it. It takes a little bit of time, but I'm really excited to see it show up at SEMA this year.
Yeah, and we're extremely excited to have it, to be honest with you. I mean, for those of you who don't know, that's kind of what sparked this. So we saw David release the photo a little earlier than expected, and then immediately I'm like, hey, we've got to confirm that this thing is no better place to have this car released and unveiled than the EMPI garage at SEMA 2020 in our brand new, beautiful, gigantic booth location and everything else. And this is going to be badass.
Well, it's an honor for me too. I mean, come on, it's EMPI number one, number two. It's Chad Coker, which anytime I can feel like I keep up with Chad a little bit, because he built some pretty off the wall stuff too. I feel like, we're just living a childhood dream. Honestly, we're humbled and blessed to be able to do what we do. I got a talented team of people at the shop and the brands I deal with. Why not try to put something together and have some fun with it?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We definitely got to have Chad there to pull the curtain back of this thing once it goes. I see we already getting comments in, that from Dominic Lapino there, already turbo and nitrous.
Well, let me tell you a secret or a story about that. David Vassar owns Nitrous Outlet. Everybody knows I'm a nitrous freak. I'm a turbo freak. I'm a Pro Charger freak. I'm a freak for horsepower. I like horsepower. But David started a class called the Boosted and Juiced class. So you got to have boost and you got to have juice, and it was just sort of fun. And I don't care. I mean, I love the racetrack. I go all the time, but for me, it's about having fun on the street. So you got to have nitrous just because it looks cool and everybody thinks it's, and you got to have horsepower. So why not run a supercharger and nitrous or a turbocharger and nitrous? And why not just have nitrous? I don't care. So for me, he started this class called Boost and Juice, and now every chance I get, I run a boost, some sort of boost and some sort of juice. So,
it's interesting too, for a lot of people that haven't had a chance to take a look at, I encourage you to look back at some of the photos and of what David created last year at SEMA. I mean, I personally fell in love with it. I've been begging him to ship the car out here to me just so I could drive it to and from work. But the drag street digger, this thing is wicked, man. Twin turbocharged, docile as a pet kitten, but just
I don't know if I call it docile, but honestly,
before boost controller, right? So
as a child, I'm an old man, so a digger, a front engine digger back in the day was dangerous. They were nasty bad. You sat behind the rear end, tires right here, just blowing the tires off, and it was crazy. And I always said, one day I'm going to build one for the street. 2 seats, cup holder, cell phone charger, tag lights, blinkers. And then if you start, again, no different than this VW, when you start looking at the brands I'm involved with, I got with Brett Nesbitt, built a beautiful 540, got 16 atomizers in it. Holly, got a beautiful Holly, Dominator setup on it, and twin mirror image turbos. So now you can 2,600, 3,000, you can ramp in anything you want for horsepower. And I got a Davis box in it. So it's got traction control. It's got wheelie control. It's got everything a street car should have, but it's bad fast.
I cannot wait to actually get some numbers from you on that thing to see really what it runs, how it responds, and to not just
with this virus,
we
should have been there a month ago, but with this virus, we're going out Monday. We do have a date. I talked to Jack French from Atomizer. We got a track date on Monday and Tuesday, so we're going to go out and put some numbers down. We've been playing with it on the street, driving it to lunch. The car's absolutely amazing, but I can't wait to put it on the two-step and let it eat. It's going to be fun.
We saw some snippets on social media already. You guys in the garage there putting it up a little bit on the two-step. I mean, is that a E85 car, a race gas? What do you?
That's methanol there. Honestly, when you're running something like that, and it holds almost 20 gallons. So the fuel tank's up front, as much weight as I can get on the front end. The radiator's up front, everything's up front. But it runs on methanol, and as long as I keep my foot out of it, it doesn't do too bad. Of course, you stomp on it, and it needs fuel, but it's a bad mamma jamma. Yeah.
So we've had so many questions kind of coming through, and they're going to continue to come through in DMs and whatnot. But share with us a little bit kind of how Dave got his start into this deal. I mean, not everybody just goes into becoming a TV celebrity and whatnot, but how did you were you always just tinkering as an early age, or kind of run it through that one for us?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, you wanted that poster on the wall. For instance, I'm in the Batcave. It's my Batcave. It's Batman, and I played a little bit of Batman. I was in the stunt world for a long time. For me, I always wanted the poster on the wall, and you couldn't afford to have that poster. So you had to learn to build that poster. You had to build your mini bikes, build your go-karts, build your motorcycles, your cars, whatever it was. We didn't have any money. So it's really where it started. My dad was a builder. My grandfather worked for Studebaker and Packard. Now my son's 14 and he's building his first race car. So for me, I think it's just in the genes. It's what we do. We didn't have a ton of money. We still don't. We build to our limits, and we try and beg and plead and do everything we can do to try to get something built. So it's I think it's just a lifelong lifestyle, if you will. It's what we do.
That's cool. I mean, and now, so are we picked up for kind of the transition into a multi? How many more series you guys signed up for right now, and kind of where's that going?
Yeah, well, we've been blessed. I never wanted to do television. It was never in my vocabulary. A bunch of my friends did television. I wanted nothing to do with it. Sort of back and forth with a producer. We ended up getting talked into it, did it for 3 years. Now we're going into year 4. I love it. Because of the virus and because of some of the changes we went through, we're waiting for season 4. It's about half filmed right now, then the virus hit, so we got a little bit of time. But realistically, what I'm really excited about is we're launching a digital series coming out this year. So we get to live in the digital platforms instead of the television where you have to have a reason for a build, do a build, and release the build. It's a digital series. We're going to do it more movie style. We're going to have some fun with it and really have a lot of fun. So, do some, even try to act, I think we're going to have some fun. So.
Oh, geez.
Exactly. But the digital series is going to be great, though. So.
That's it. I mean, it sounds cool. I mean, if it's a fraction of anything you guys are already building, creating, designing, developing, and
we're going to go out in the digital series and show people how to drive them. That's just it. If you can go out there and really put a Fast and a Furious with working cars that actually work and drive and turn and stop and race, it's going to be a fun deal. And then do it in a format that isn't serious. It's more movie oriented. It'll be fun. So I'm excited.
That's cool. So can you kind of dive into, or are you able to dive into a little bit about the drag bus build and kind of?
Yeah, of course.
What to expect? I mean, we don't want to give too much away, but I guess
I really did. This year we decided we're building 2. We're chopping up a VW. Jason has really just got his head on this bug, and he's chopped it all up, and he's narrowed it and shrunk and made it a coupe. Did all kinds of crazy things to it, but in my mind, that's what everybody was expecting. So I went the other way on mine. We're going to go enter a few of these air-cooled races that my buddy puts on down here, and they're a lot of fun. This is a group of people in the VW world that loves what they do. They're passionate. They love it. So to be able to build something like this bus that makes all the sense in the world to some people and none to everybody else. I really don't care. I want to go out and enjoy myself. I want to live in that group of people. Our industries, we got to save our industry. It's the industry we love, which is hot rodding of all types. So why not go out and support it any way we can? And that's what this bus came around. So we're doing a one-off from the ground up. Every inch of this bus is handmade.
Wow. I mean, and that's a great point, Dave, because that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about the EMPI Insider Show and why I do the things I do. And, to do this, that doesn't take away from my daily work that's required of me here. So I have to make sure that I put it in after us. So I love the enthusiasm, and I love what you're saying there, because it resonates with me personally, because of just how important I feel it is to replenish the pool of enthusiasts that we have. Whether you're driving your Chevelle or your Nova, your Acura, your Honda, your Rat Rod, or your bike, it doesn't matter to me. It just matters that whatever we're going to do, let's at least do it. Let's passion. Let's encourage others to come in. So that to me speaks volumes. And I'm sure you're talking about Scott Sain's events down there in the Carolinas, and there's so many other people that are wonderful out there. I mean, you've got Kathy Jacobs, working out at SCBW and the Fast Times at Farmington stuff, and I'm going to beg, borrow, and plead to get you to come to the Corey Mack deal, in Las Vegas, to kind of roll this thing out and showcase it and have some fun with the quick eights, but just to be able to share the passion and the love that, and I think that's why we kind of hit it off so well early on, is we're both just legitimate gearheads that love anything fast and horsepower related. So I just love it. And it's infectious for me. And I want to make sure we continue to do that. So it's awesome.
Well, it's about saving our industry. Let's think about, I don't care what you're driving. I don't care if it's a shopping cart in Walmart. If you're both out trying to, it's an industry. It's a way of life. It's who cares what it is? Some people's $500 hot rod is their dream car. Some people, 5,000 to spend. Some have 50,000 to spend. To me, it's an industry. I go to these car shows and I learn something at every car show. Somebody's done something I've never seen. It's amazing to me, the talented people out there that nobody will ever hear of. I got a great team of people. I'd put them against anybody on the planet. But the people you never hear of, my father, his whole generation was amazing with metal. Absolutely amazing. So, yeah, it's an exciting time for us.
And that's how I believe one of the quotes that I had read, just doing, more research and kind of learning about you, was your dad earned the nickname the Iron Man, right?
It's funny. Long before the Iron Man was something special, he could build anything out of iron. He truly was to this day, I could only hope to have his talent as far as being a builder, being a man, being a fab guy, being a welder. He's incredible. But that's what they did. His nickname was the Iron Man. I laughed. Oh, he was a comic book. No, he was the real Iron Man. He moved metal. He was a bad boy.
And I mean, just to continue to watch that now, and then now your son is getting involved with the builds and this passion for cars, right?
Yeah, he's 14. He's driving the wheels out of a little 6-speed 350Z, sliding it around, and man, he's having a ball. The virus has been a plus for him. He comes in every morning, he does his homework, and he goes into the shop. He goes to work. So he's working on his own car. He's working on our cars. He's having a ball. And let me tell you something. He's going to be way better than all of us. He's got some talent. I'm impressed.
I mean, that's how we all started, right? We'd sneak mom and dad's car out of there late at night and go drift it around the neighborhood.
That's exactly right.
And for those of you watching, a couple know the ice plant story about me, and we'll share that at a later date. But man, so tell us about the power plant, what you're kind of envisioning for the bus, and where we're going to go with this, and what you're going to try to accomplish. Really, I know you want to go out and bracket and do it, but
yeah, ideally, I'll never go out and do any type of scheduled event racing in a class. I believe that's for people. I want to enjoy the industry, so. What I'll do is, we'll build this thing. We'll go out and do as many exhibitions as we can do. And honestly, if I can get out there and put the thing in the 5s, that's fast. People don't quite understand how fast 5s are, let alone if I can go up or down from there, we'll see. But ideally, we're going to try to make it as light as we can make it. It's the first one I made in a long time that's not going to be street legal. It's a single-seater, bare bones, turbocharged, nitrous-fed animal. I just hope Chad's got enough parts to build me another motor, because I got a bad feeling if I don't get my number, I'll blow it up trying to get it. So it's going to be fun.
We'll make sure we bring some spares for you and whatnot to the Vegas event. So so on the sketch, are you climbing in basically through the back window of the thing? Or
No, we put a roof on it that, because they always have a cloth roof, so we're going to leave the same thing, except you go underneath it. So you open it up, climb in the top, and go down, and then close the top back in, a rag top on it, basically. So, and some of that stuff, it really comes down to functionality. I need it to look like that drawing when I'm done. I need it to be functional. I need it to be fast. I need it to fire. I cannot stand a paperweight. If we go to build something and it doesn't drive or it doesn't rip the tires off it, I'm not going to be happy. So I'm going to try to keep it real true to that drawing. Change the wheels up a little bit. I'm running a little different wheel, but tires are real. It's going to be bad. The chassis is already done. Body's real close to done. Steering's done. Motor's done. I got to plumb the turbo. Working on the transmission, coupling a VW to an automatic so I can get a trans brake on it. I really want to be able to launch the car. That's going to be the secret to me pulling a good eighth number. So.
Yeah. And so, let me clarify, guys. I know some of the West Coast guys are kind of cringing a little bit when they hear fives. He's an East Coast guy. Those guys are eighth mile. They like to race half the track.
It's funny. Well, down here, you got to remember, we do a lot of the RVW stuff. The guys around here run fast cars. I mean, they're 3.5s now in the eighth mile. They're fast cars.
Yeah, the radio
stuff. And they're so fast that they run eighth mile down here. The VW guys, again, down here, it's just what the tracks are set up for. I don't care if it's a shopping cart. If you got a shopping cart that will run with mine, we can go drag racing. I don't care.
You guys, that's what it's about. It's so different. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, fives in the eighth is hauling ass. No matter where you go with it. I mean, that's a legitimate deep 8-second ride. And to do that with a front motored car that weighs probably around the 1,000-pound mark or so is going to be just a freaking blast to drive,
And that really is what it comes down to, is going out and having some fun. That car, I should be able to put it on the trans brake, put all the power I can get on that little rate and let it eat. That car is going to be a riot to drive and should be really consistent.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Hopefully we'll get a chance to come out your way this year, depending on how the circumstances go and whatnot. But we're hoping to make some East Coast stuff, and I definitely got to come by the garage and talk you into twisting your arm and let me drive that rail somehow, shape, or form.
It ain't going to take no talking. Let's go.
You heard it. We got it on video, and this is recorded, so I got him. It's like I probably must have walked by that thing 20 times the street digger just to look at, because it's what I love, man. I mean, and those of you that know me on a personal level out there, I mean, I am a legitimate horsepower junkie. Go fast first, brakes are optional kind of thing, because they got plenty of shutdown in most cases. And just to go out and to check that out, I can't wait to see it. But so really, what's besides the front motored car and then the bug you're kind of working on? Is there stuff that you want to share with the audience and
we're working on a little bit of everything. I got a 65 coupe going. We're doing a twin turbo car just for the Precision Turbo booth again this year. They were so happy with last year. We're doing another car for their booth. Sure. I really am concentrating on this digital series. The fact that I can take all my racing friends that race some sort of vehicles, doesn't matter if it's VW race, race cars, drag cars, street cars, road race cars, put them into a movie format that isn't fake. So if you got legitimately 4 or 5 cars that are mid 3-second cars or 3.7-second cars in the eighth mile, that's fast. People don't understand how fast, and then put them on the street. So when you're watching a Fast and the Furious digital series, Fast and the Furious, you hit the nitrous button and a 4-pan blows out. It gets a lot of attention. So our digital series, we're just going to try to make the racing real, the cars real, the people that drive them real, because anybody that knows anything about our industry, and I don't care if it's VWs, if it's drag cars, if it's street cars, if it's road race cars, we're all idiots. I mean, upstairs, we got a screw loose. We like to play. We like to go fast. We're not. Come on now.
Okay. I mean, you are a former stuntman. You may have the screw loose, okay? I think we make calculated risks at times, and maybe we push the envelope, but you're the one jumping out of burning buildings and doing all kinds of crazy shenanigans.
It's people. Everybody's idea of fast is different. Some people go, "Oh, dude, my Mustang or my Camaro is the baddest thing on the planet." It's everybody's idea of fast is different. Everybody's idea of risk is different. Everybody's, it comes down to, some people think, going 100 miles an hour is fast. Some people going 100 miles an hour sideways is fast. Some people going 100 miles an hour backwards is crazy. Your idea, your level changes as you get older, as you get more experience, or the product changes. So,
and that's the transition that a lot of people are trying to, grasp. The car, or when you, especially in the VW world specifically, you're like, you talk about, a built 2-liter on 48s and all this stuff, or a turbocharged car. And for people to try to grasp how quick and fast that really is, they're like, oh, my dad's got a Corvette and this and that and the other thing. And it just doesn't resonate to them, and quickness and speed and everything.
It's funny you bring that up, because this year on ToyMakerz, I'm literally going to do that. We have a track right down the street called Z-Max. It's a 4-wide. It's got four lanes. So we're literally going to do that. We're going to take down here, a 6-second race car on slicks, trailered in with wheelie bars. It's 8-mile stuff we're talking about. It's a fast car. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a brand new Corvette, stick it in one lane, take a 6-second race car, put it in one lane, put what they call a big dog car down, which is a 4-second car. That's fast. Let me just tell you something. 4 seconds in the 8th mile is fast. 200 miles an hour, it's fast. Okay. And then put a 3 6-second car in the far lane, like a radio versus a world car, a 3 5-second car. Now, when you start talking about the difference of OEM fast versus race car fast, it's a different world. People don't realize, and I don't care what it is. I don't tend to talk and, well, we're going to run twin 48s, and I don't care about any of that stuff. To me, you build a platform. It's just pumps air is all that motor does. You're trying to get as much fuel and air as I can get through the motor, and the best way to get it to the ground. Suspension matters, tires matters, everything matters. So you can make anything fast, but there's a difference between OEM fast and race car fast. You take a Hellcat, it's a bad mamma jamma, but it's 700 horsepower and it's 4,400 pounds.
Yeah.
If you took that 700 horsepower and you took 2,000 pounds off the car, now you got a race car. It's race car fast. So there's a difference. I mean, weight matters. I mean, suspension matters, tires matter.
Everything. It's the whole setup.
It really is. And then let me tell you something. You let go of a button on a 4-second car, you better have your cojones ready to go. You're sitting at a traffic light, especially on a radial that's a dead hook tire. It's like getting hit by a Mack truck going 80 miles an hour. I mean, you're gone. It's bad. You do a sub 1 second 60-foot time, you're moving.
And that's the thing, is like the grasp of a lot of people just read, whatever magazine's going to write the next review. And we were kind of jokingly around here talking about it, because one of ours picked up one of the new Porsche all-wheel drive, bad mamma jazz, and it's, 2.6, 2.8 or whatever, 0 to 60. And I'm like, that's cute, but that's still nowhere near where a lot of these cars are at these days.
But there's, like I said, fast is a relative word. The guy out there that drives his Camaro or his Corvette or his Porsche, to them, it's a bad mamma jamma. But now you go to somebody like an Alex Laughlin or a Stevie Fast Jackson or somebody that knows what 3.5 is and does a 0.89 60-foot time or a 0.92 60-foot. You're sub 1 second 60-foot times. Holy cow. 3.5s in the 8th mile. That is the most absurd. Mark Mickey, I think last year, won a 2.26 in the 8th mile the numbers are just crazy. And they're not running a wheelie bar. They're running a little bitty radio tire. I mean, it's you know, the day of the wheelie bars are gone. The day of the big slicks are gone. They're running little bitty radio tires, no wheelie bars, and they're going fast.
No W's, as
Yeah.
that right? No W on the radials. So
Yeah. Bad fast.
and I encourage a lot of our listeners and the people that watch this type of stuff. I mean, we're averaging a substantial amount of listeners now, and I encourage you guys to really get into, look at some of the other events that are down, especially through the South, like in Georgia
Oh
and
my
all
God.
that stuff, the Radio versus the World stuff, Ducks events and the Yellow Bullet gigs. I mean, the stuff that's out there. I mean, and what's really interesting is you're finally starting to get the spice back to it for me. So I'm really digging what they're doing, like with Alex Laughlin being so active on social media.
Yeah.
You get guys like Stevie Fast, who you brought up. I mean, that's a true character who's gonna catapult this sport and this hobby that we love so much to the next level, or just to continue to refill that glass.
Hence why you're bringing up exactly why I'm excited about the digital series. It doesn't matter if it's, Jack French and the Vixen, or, there's just so many Axemen, the no prep guys. There's, Shane Lester, there's Chuck 55. There's so many guys on so many different worlds. Okay. Chuck 55 runs a 903-inch Sunny big block with 5 stages of nitrous. Now, some people go, that's stupid. You got to win a twin turbo. And then there's so many different classes, and those guys are low 4s or right around 4 seconds. That's fast. Get Stevie Fast Jackson. You like them or don't like them is irrelevant. When you run a 3.5, you the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah,
but
I'm doing it on a 10-inch wide, or
with no wheelie bars, you a bad man. But more importantly, the racing, like you just said, is absolutely spectacular. You're not worried about wheeling at the starting line anymore. You're worried about half track starting to power wheelie and flipping the car over at the finish line because they're accelerating so hard. That's impressive racing.
I 100% agree. And so remember the video clip that kind of went around social media where the Mustang around the 800-foot mark literally starts power wheeling all the way up to the rear bumper and blows up. It blows over to the side a little bit. I mean, it's just scary. I mean, one of my favorite races out on the West is Mel's race, Streetcar Super Nationals. I mean, it's a hugely successful race. You get to see all the guys from around the country, including Canada, and they're coming in to bring that stuff. It's just, I'm telling you, if you make one race out here on the West Coast event a year that's kind of your go-to, I highly encourage that race every year because it is pure fun, absolutely badass. And you see 260 mile an hour plus door cars, that still resemble what, the heyday really was back in the 60s and 70s when it was a true, it's a, split bumper Camaro, or looked like a Nova still. It's not this, and I'm not thinking against, the floppers of today, but it's still something different.
I couldn't agree more. And you know what? That's what the industry needed, though, across the board. And the whole country's doing it. Over here, it's, we're the people over here doing their thing. Over there, you're doing your thing. The advantage, and it comes right back to what we were talking about, the passion of all these people doing what they love to do and keeping the industry alive. For like my 14-year-old growing up, he's 14, and most kids his age have no idea, could care less about driving. My son can drive anything in my shop and put it sideways. He doesn't care. And that's important to grow the industry, and great racing grows the industry.
Yeah, it's what you got to be enthusiastic, right? Put asses in the seats, create that bond or that hook to bring people in, whether it be the Volkswagen. That's why the Volkswagen is such a passionate thing for me. And that's another reason why I'm kind of looking at getting into more of the Class 11 stuff, is because it's a relatively inexpensive way to get out of the house, build a thing in your garage and go out and bash it on the weekend with your buddies, and then go into something else, but still have fun doing so.
Well, I could have built a VW Bug, thought about it, could have built a Gia, could have bought it, thought about it, done a million of those, and all my friends do them. I needed to be true to myself, do something a little bit ridiculous, and truly try to build I got Star Creations, I got Precision Turbo, I've got talent in my shop that just, dude, if I think it up, if I can't build it, I promise Jason can. We got the guys that get it. and really a support team. My business partner, Dave Young, Ashley, and all of us really sit down and think it through what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and then try to go a little bit over the top. A VW bug's cool, love it. But if I'm going to do it and I'm going to show up at a racetrack, I need to make a statement, and then I'm going to have to try to back it up with a number.
Yeah. And I think that's just history repeating itself with your MO. So I'm just excited to see it. And I can't even put it into words. And as cliche as it sounds, I just because of the craftsmanship and what it takes to build a car from scratch off of literally started probably as a napkin sketch into, I don't even know if you're doing it off a CAD file or how you're going to do it, start, laying it out, but tape measure and grease pencil goes a long ways in the shop these days. And to see that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're really blessed. I'm humbled and to be able to do what we do and have my son right along by my side and a team of people that care. And listen, we have an industry of vendors that care. I mean, the tire companies, your power adder companies. It doesn't matter who it is. My paint companies. It doesn't matter who it is. They all care. It isn't. And the people I deal with, it isn't about. I tend to stay away from the brands that are trying to sell product. I tend to be more. I like the CEOs that live the world. That they're at the racetrack. They're making their product the best they can make it. They're doing. Look at Apple Tree. Chad. He goes out and lives that world. He could go put a V8 in something. He doesn't. He does something right off the deep end that's crazy and stupid and blowing motors up. And that's how you have fun. I mean, anybody can. I don't know. I love what we do. We're blessed.
And you know what? You're passionate about it. I mean, I've seen you. I don't say quote unquote on stage. Where you've got to be on point and at SEMA and you're doing the, kissing babies and shaking hands and everything else. But the enthusiasm level is the same, whether you're there or whether you're at home right now in your home office, doing the live stream with us, or whether you're in the shop in the garage. It's just, again, it's infectious. And it's probably why the guys on your team want to be around you and continue to do the things they want to do. It's just awesome to see. And we need more of you guys. And that's why we want to bring more guys like yourself onto this show to just, light that spark, give them that one reason. Maybe it's that final little push needed to bring them to start that project or to start that build or to, this was always so-and-so's car. I had a great memory from my grandfather or my dad or my brother. And we, whatever it takes to bring somebody back into this hobby or hot rodding in general, we gotta have it. We need it. Everybody lives off this stuff.
Everybody that knows me knows I've got 10 or 15 projects constantly in the works. I'm building stuff for 2 years from now. This project we're talking about here started probably a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. That's how long it takes. And people just don't understand. It's I try to do 1 or 2 a year that are like this, but you got to start it. And then if you just slowly pluck away at it, before long, you don't have to spend millions of dollars. Or what I do is I never calculate it up, so I don't add up what it costed me. That way I'll build another one. But if you try to do it in one time or in 3 months, number one, you fall short, you shortcut something, and it costs you too much money. You realize the money's gone. So you slowly build it, you build it right, you think through it, you surround yourself with the right people. Man, everybody can do it. You just got to put your head down and do it.
Yeah. One of the questions that I actually just had DM me through the private messages is what do you do with the cars when you're done with them? What happens to these things?
Most people like to buy them and sell them. They fill them and sell them. I don't do that. We got 10 acres. Rockingham County's been really good to us there in Reedsville. We're going to build a museum. I drive them. I bring them to events. I'm still bringing cars out. We did, 4 or 5 years ago out to events. My one-off cars will always stay with me. Everybody keeps asking if I'll sell them. I've tried a few times. Guys get there and they just don't understand the difference between OEM fast and R fast until you get in a driver's seat. But, for me now, I really want a museum. We're having so many fans come by and to share that with the world. And and to be able to see them in action this year, I'm booked at 30 events this year, going in and getting in and fire them up and making a few laps. And it doesn't matter if it's a road course, a drift course, a drag strip, or a big, good guys event where you're just showing up, driving in and sitting out there with everybody else. It's, to me, I want to show them off, and it's good for my brands too. They're not getting something. I'm not fixing a car and running it across an auction block. I want to drive the cars and show them off for years to be till I put them in a museum. Yeah. So,
man, I mean, it's amazing, and all I can say is wow and thank you. Just thank you for what you do for the hobby and for all the industries. Not just the Volkswagen side of stuff, but and there's a reason why guys like companies like Precision come back the next year, because it's successful and the quality of the build met and exceeded expectations. And I highly encourage you guys to check that stuff out. I mean, we're fortunate enough to just be a few aisles north of them, essentially, and at SEMA, and to watch the traffic when that thing was undercover was awesome. So,
well, we're cool. I tend to say it a lot that we're blessed, but it really comes down to a team of people, an understanding partner. And really surrounded myself with vendors that like you guys, or like Precision or David Vassar Nitrous or MagnaFlow or Fastenal. It doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. Them guys all, they all show up too at SEMA, and they want their picture taken with the car, and they want to show it on their websites and their stuff. And they know that when they're holding an event and I show up, that car is going to drive Monster Transmission. You show up at their event, they're doing this new big thing down there in Florida, and I'm going to show up there. They don't even realize I'm coming yet, but I'm bringing a blue car, but I'm bringing a car because they're going to hold a burnout contest. So I'm bringing a car specifically built just to go rip the tires off it at their event. And they appreciate that, because the customer can put their hands on their product, see me abuse it, and it'll hold up. It isn't, I'm not talking about it because I'm getting paid to talk about it. I'm talking about it because the product works.
Thank you, Mickey Thompson, for this. The tires, because we're hazing them always. Like every time I turn on something or a video clip on YouTube, you're burning out, you're doing something. Whether even the drift trike episode was pretty badass, and to go out there and terrorize. I mean,
yeah, talking about Mickey Thompson's amazing. I deal with Tom all the time, and they're good. Listen, you can't get a better tire for that radio tire is amazing. It's amazing what it does, and it's a good company. They've been really good to me. But talking about drift trikes, I do one episode a year based around toys. Every year we do something based around toys. I am a big kid at heart. So this year we called all my brands and invited them to build a toy, and we're going to hold a race. So, and you got to stick, we use a $99 motor. You got to do but you a bunch of grown men on little bitty toys. We try to kill ourselves. But it's a riot. It is about having fun and enjoying ourselves. And the drift trikes are sick. Oh my Lord, what a riot. We all have one where they're all in our trailers and we play with them all the time.
I just dig it because, you're just having fun, man. I mean, from an outside looking in, I mean, dude, you're living the rock star lifestyle, right? I mean, you're having fun. You're building some really cool stuff. You're building stuff that, what you dream up, and you're able to take that idea to fruition and to build that and to not just showcase it and not put oil in it and drag it around the trailer. You go out there and you're beating the brakes off these things. You're doing burnouts with them. You're having fun with them, and that's just bitching. And I'm sure, like many of us other listeners are watching in, are quite envious at times for some of the cool shit you get to do.
Get ourselves in trouble.
Even the engineer Eddie Express is Eddie's just like, yep, yeah, you kind of touched a sore subject because he drives his Challenger every day and he knows what a big old pig that thing is.
Well, listen, you can make it fast. We have brands, but fast is a relative word. Dodge, I don't dare say a word about a Dodge. We've got a bunch, and my buddy, my right hand on the show is a Dodge freak. He is a Dodge freak. I'm doing another Dodge for Dean Kane's son this year on the show. So, I'm not prejudiced. I own a company called ToyMakerz, and you can make all of them fast. I mean, anybody that tells you that Dodge ain't worth a beans, they got another thing coming. They're all bad. It's just who's driving them and who's building them. So
that leads me to an awesome question. And I've been talking about this amongst my group and my friends, stuff like that. I personally feel, and I would love your opinion, and it can completely be off of mine, but I feel we are in the second wave of the horsepower wars again. And what a cool time to live.
it's funny. I'm a little bit older. I'm an old man. So I remember a day when a 502 big block was a bad mamma jammer. You run a 454, and it was just bad. You had 425 horse and you thought you were an animal. And nowadays you look at that motor and it's almost like the new flathead, like a Chevy 350 is like the new flathead. And it took me a minute to turn the corner to go to the LS World or the Coyotes or even the new Hemis, but when you start really looking at it and understanding how easy it is to make horsepower, reliable, good quality horsepower, dude, how can you not change? It's an understatement to say it's the second coming. It is the coming. There's some bad boys in all. I don't need Ford, Chevy, Dodge. I don't care what you're driving. There's some bad mamma jammas out there, and they're here. They're not coming. They're here.
It's so easy to make I mean,
600 horsepower. You can
see is like
horsepower out of everything.
To me, if the bar is like an 800 to 1,000 horsepower daily driver is easily obtainable these days.
And think about that. Think about that for a minute. You want to talk about fun, and then you get gas mileage. It starts. It's reliable. It's drivable. Dude, you didn't have that when I was growing up.
Yeah, that's a prime example. Like I built a 2018 Mustang for SEMA in my past life, recently, and we did that, and that car made 1,000 horsepower. I drove it to the track. I drove it home, full interior,
AC, electric windows, the whole 9 yards.
Ran on the 85, power adder on it was blown. Shout out to Edelbrock, and the thing made stupid power, drove it to Bakersfield, 100 and something miles away, go click off at 9:30, and I drove it home on the same freaking Mickey Thompson ET Street R's that I drove up there with on a 17-inch wheel,
So let me answer your question then. It isn't coming. It's here. There's some bad boys out there right now.
It's so sick. And I mean, as a horsepower junkie, just watching what they're doing and pushing the envelope. And now, with the car design is just getting better and better and more sharp edge. I mean, the new C8 is sexy as can be. For me, I like the Charger, Hellcat Charger, because I got 4 doors and I can, with a little tweak, it'll make 900 pretty easily. So it's like,
if you played in one,
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, bone stock. The first time we went out, we had a car full of people. We're out running around town. Boy, I mean, holy cow, it took me by surprise. I was like, dude, it's a 4,400-pound boat. That thing was an animal. We had fun in that car.
A fun story. So at Fontana Motor Speedway out here, they have the drive the exotic cars and all that stuff. And a very dear friend is one of the main heads over there. Well, he had one of their whiz bang European drift champions, and their drift car that they take people out in is a Charger Hellcat that is just done up. And I'll tell you right now, there was 3 of us plus the driver in that car, and I got in-car camera video, and that was an absolute wicked ride. This big old fat ass 4,000-pound machine sideways, and it was a hoot. And I'm like, oh god, So you got to realize when a fan comes up to you and says he's got a Hellcat and he's got a badass ride, I promise you, in his mind, he's got matter of fact, he's got a badass ride. I don't care what anybody says. Absolutely. But everybody's idea of bad is different. So, I love every bit of that. It's amazing. I mean, we could sit here and talk cars for hours.
I'm loving this episode. My favorite one so far.
And just to have it spread and to grow the enthusiasm, man, I can't even thank you enough, Dave, for just coming on. I am super excited about this build. I'm sure as we get closer to SEMA, we can hopefully get a little snippet of it. But the unveiling of that car in the EMPI booth at SEMA 2020, and to have you present and Chad Coker and hopefully most of your team, if able to, it's just going to be next level stuff, man.
It's a blessing to see my team too there. Last couple of years, we've been so hectic and so many things. I haven't had to have them there. So get them to be able to appreciate what the fans see, what they say, their reactions is huge for my team as well, because we have a very small team. I don't have a team of 20 guys, at the shop. It's very, 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 what you see on TV is what you get. And they all work really hard. I mean, most of the time we work 7 days a week,
Wow.
year round. I mean, it's what we love to do. And I wouldn't have it any other way. They said, if you're working, take a job that you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. I tend to believe that. Is there problems? Absolutely. Is there headaches? Doing TV is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It is truly the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's the most rewarding and the best people on the planet I've met in this industry.
Well, that's cool. Before we wrap up and let you guys out of here and whatnot, you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors, your team? I mean, you talked about here. I know I couldn't do this without my guys and supporting.
You really can't. I got a business partner that I know cringes every time I have a new idea. David Young. He's been. Yeah, I couldn't have done everything I do without him. And then like I said, the team in the shop. My son has stepped up this year. He's 14, and he's really. I actually decided to hire him. I mean, actually hire him. I was going to hire another young kid to come in. And so we went and got a work permit and said, look, if you do the job, I'll hire you, actually hire you to get a paycheck. And he's really stepped up. And then of course, Jason is amazing. Ashley, and I'm doing an episode based around the employees and them building their own cars this year. It's really fun. So Billy's building a car. Billy's been in this industry a long, long time. Jason is I just feel like Jason can build anything with his hands. Dwight's just coming on, but Ashley building her own car and seeing her mind work. David going to hit the drag strip. David Young's going to go to the drag strip. I worked on his car. He's in his 70s. And for him to get on a drag strip and get to a Christmas tree, light the bulbs and let a button go, it's going to be fun for him. And I think we're going to put his car in the sixes, and in the sixes for a 70-year-old man that's never done this before, he's going to have a riot, so it's going to be fun.
Smile on his face
is going to be amazing. It's going to be a fun time. And that's really and then all the brands. I mean, that's what the digital series is about, is bringing my brands in, the Precisions, the Pro Chargers, the Hollies. I'm bringing Fuel Tech in this year, which I'm really excited about. Of course, Nitrous Outlet and Mickey Thompson, they've all been so supportive over the years. How can we not go out and have fun? I got the best team. I got the best vendors and the best teams on the planet.
Well, it's infectious, and obviously you're doing right by them, and you're representing the brands well, and that's what people need to grasp. Is you've got to. It's a relationship, right? It's a reciprocating relationship that's so key and crucial in today's environment. That's why they still keep coming back with you. So kudos to you and a tip of the cap, because it does mean a lot. So.
Well, it means a lot to us too. And this year to be able to go back to my roots with VWs and EMPI, and I couldn't have done it without Chad over at Apple Tree. And like I said, for me to go, it's not backwards. People don't understand. It's back in time for me.
Yeah.
But we're going to bring a new school twist, and it's going to be nasty.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. So there you have it, guys. You saw the little clip of what we were putting out for this. What David and the whole team of ToyMakerz is over there doing. This thing is going to be a bad, wicked machine. And Dave, thank you so much from me to you for lending us an hour of your time and coming into hanging out and talking cars. Thank you for all you do. And man, I can't wait to see it. And I look forward to seeing you here very, very soon.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me. Everybody be safe out there, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you have it, guys. I mean, what an awesome episode this week to be blessed and to work and to chat alongside such a creative mind that brings literally these crazy creations to life is so cool. Big shout out to everybody over there at ToyMakerz and David's entire crew and partners. Very cool. And David, again, thank you so much for sharing us. And you guys, to watch all you guys chiming in and the stuff you guys are digging, it just resonates again, why we're trying to do this show, why we're trying to breed enthusiasm back into this hobby, not only the VW hobby, but into the general hobby itself, of just the cars and everything that we're about. So it's very cool to see many of you guys coming back in, Jeffrey Hicken, Wink. I mean, the list goes on and on and on to see all that stuff. So it's very cool, and you can see my man Eddie Express behind the camera there, and what we're kind of working on and doing. We're always improving and always trying to bring you guys something new, some new flavors, some new designs, some new setup, whatever it may be, but to give you a better quality show every single week, week in and week out. We thank you for that. So I've seen a couple comments come through, man. Very cool, you guys, to check in on that stuff. Awesome to see. EMPI quality. We're going to touch on that one in a later date too, but we're striving to always bring that to a best and better case scenario. And, for some of the old school cats that think of this or think of that, I mean, the manufacturer capabilities and the quality that's being put out there is far light speed ahead of where it was before. So, check in, stay up to date, educate yourself. And that's what we're here to do, is to bring it all in for a round of everybody. But, gosh, we've got a couple of minutes to say. If anybody else, any things you want to chime in on or bringing it in, we dig it. Wink, thank you. It's cool to see. And you know what, man? It's cool to see you chiming in. I love the rivalry of the camps at times and whatnot, and then what it's all about. But to have that and to have you guys coming in and chiming in on the radio, and it's cool, man, because today I'm just watching the feed, I'm watching the people count, and I'm watching how many lives. I mean, we were triple digits at one point, which we've never had on the show. In one platform. So very cool mile marker.
It was a cool car guy episode,
dude. It was car chat, and that's what it's about. Cool. I mean, again, we've talked about this, and I don't even want to keep reiterating, but it's what it's about. It's about, like, I get animated, I get infectious, I get worked up, I turn into, like,
dude, you saw me wake up as soon as you started talking horsepower.
It's just stuff. Like, car stuff, and we love it, and we want to share about it. And yes, we work at EMPI. Yes, that's who writes our paychecks. But at the same time, we want to give you guys a glimpse on the cool shit that we're doing. That's really what it's about. And to be able to do that with, a colleague of mine to do this, to play the strengths that he's at and where we're at, and everything that we're doing here, and a big shout out to my dude, Jesse, newcomer to the team, newcomer to EMPI, but he's really stepped up and helped us a lot, bringing this production to the next level. So I really hope you guys and like it, enjoy it. The sounds I remember from our day one, our first little Instagram episode, just barely a couple months ago, we're holding a little camera and trying to do it off the little mic that we did, and now look at this place. I mean, this is really cool, and a big shout out and a thank you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse. But
I know you guys can't see him right now, but next episode we'll put his face on.
Probably a good thing. But I mean, in all seriousness, a big shout out to our CEO, Peter Geil, for stepping into a big role and for exceeding all expectations and allowing the creativity to flow amongst the group in the marketing department and to give you guys this episode. So very bitching. Couple of things I want to do. Where's he at? Mark, we would love to try to schedule you. So a few things coming up. If there's a certain shop that you guys like to visit, or you have your work done, or you would like us to invite onto the show, please drop me a message, send me a note. We would love to get them on here. We are booking out and scheduling about the future events in the coming weeks. So if you guys do have one, I highly encourage you to send me a DM through Facebook, preferred, because that's the kind of pathway we're really going, Facebook and YouTube. You can send me a message directly. We would love to invite them onto the show and try to schedule out some dates. We have some very, very cool companies scheduled that are coming along, but we do have things like the opportunity with David from ToyMakerz to share a really, really cool picture that started going viral about this badass bus that's going to become a reality. So send us notes. Let us know what you guys want to see. We'd love to bring it to help. That's what we're here for. Let's see here. Michelle, thank you so much for checking in. Raphael, thank you.
Oh, he's right about missing the barbecue and beer, though.
Yeah. We reach down here, we get a little scotch or something like that. But it's just the vibe, man. We're having fun in here. This is also where we're starting to do. You're going to see a lot more in the coming weeks of video edits, how-to videos. We already filmed the first one. We're in the process of doing the video edit to that right now, and the voiceover. And we're going to start off with simple things like the how to change the billet top on a 48, and how to install a JC billet top to that. How we're going to do, how did the JC valve covers install? We're going to do a live install. So if there's something else you would like us to see or do, or maybe it's a QC question, or maybe how do you guys check this, or how do you check that, or, I don't know. But if you would like to see something in particular, I continue to encourage you guys to send us those DMs so that we can provide you raw, live streams, unedited, maybe watch us do it, whatever it may be, but just give us some good insight. And if you're going to do a suggestion, give us some detail of how you would like it seen, because we're going to continue to shoot these things and start sharing them on our social media, but mainly our YouTube page and the EMPI YouTube page. So know that's coming up, and it's really a driving force. So thanks, Wink. I appreciate it. Really good to see that kind of stuff, and it's, by the way, Jesse isn't the Jesse you thinking of. This is not Jesse, Fast Jesse. This is Jesse Mendoza, a new EMPI team member in the marketing department. So, but guys, thank you as always for tuning in. We love it. We love what we're doing. Again, we're hoping that just a fraction of the infectiousness that we have for this hobby is poured out to you guys and to continue to grow. If you guys have a cruise or car show, a car event, once this stuff starts getting, kind of settled down, please send us a DM. We'd love to share about it. Send us a flyer. We'll show it on the show so we can help grow your business and as well. So, man, what do you guys think of the new digs? I mean, this is like I stole that from our COO. Hope you guys, that's a little inside secret. He's never going to get that back. That is never going back. So Todd, I'm keeping it. Dibs. That is the original
that is a
OG
cool poster.
That is the original OG
I want one
poster
of those.
from like 68 or something like that. So, but yeah, man, we're just having fun. So very cool. Dig you guys doing this stuff. Look at Raphael Rebus. There you go. I'm looking to buy an engine, but I have a shop seller. So guys, Raphael, send us a DM. We can always try to direct you. We've done that on more than one occasions around the globe. We send, if somebody has a certain area where, like we had it today, there was a guys looking for spots in Texas. We directed them to where to potentially go.
Our websites.
Yeah. The website's consistently getting updated
with the dealer locator now.
Yeah. And, but this brings us to a great point, and we'll kind of close out with this stuff. But the website, guys, we want to continue to drive the traffic to the EMPI page. So the EMPI website is so important for you guys to go in there, to continue to check out, to continue to see the progress. Where there was a missing image yesterday may not be there today. So know that we're striving to that. So, and you can always send us something new and exciting on how to. I saw that. He's fading black, going down. That also is Jesse, the new guy. So he'll have to take a lap for that one.
We'll just call him Jesse Squared or Jesse 2.
Yeah, well, it is spelled differently, so that does help.
We'll come up with something.
I'm gonna call him Munson. He does that one again. But man, it's awesome to see. Another big shout out to all the guys involved with this stuff, though. But you can also check out our sister company, 034 Motorsports, has a kind of a weekly show they're doing as well. Javad and his team put out a little Q&A session kind of in the mornings. I think it's Monday mornings.
I think it's Monday. It's cool.
It's
cool. Really cool.
It's just a kind of a little way for them to shoot the breeze, talk about what's going on and stuff like that. I highly encourage you to do stuff. The EMPI offer poster downstairs by the CNC. Oh yeah, Dennis, I'm sure you spotted the off-road guy. Dennis Sletton, guys, if you checked in, the father of 11 Brothers Motorsports, checking in. Big off-road guy. Shout out to Dennis and his crew. But and those are the guys that are building my class 11 car that I'm gonna go out and bash on Wilkie. But we're gonna have fun, guys. So Dennis, if you want one of those, I'll gladly set you up with that. No problem. Stay tuned with some really, really big news coming up in the coming weeks that will I think they're going to be a jaw dropper, to be honest with you, in many realms. And no, it's not an acquisition, so don't worry about that. We're not buying anybody this week. But in the coming weeks, we're really excited about some of the new advances we're doing in our performance division and really what we're changing for some of the quality, some of the new work. And I don't want to say anything just yet, but it will be coming, and I cannot wait. That will be dedicated live stream by itself just for that. So Looking forward to see the Class 11 stuff. Yeah, me too, man. I saw the graphics getting printed today, Wink, and they're fire. So
Yeah, it looked
the
amazing.
car looks good.
Look really good.
I'm enthusiastic in all forms of motorsports.
You're a car guy. That's what it is. You're just a car
I
guy.
wanted to try something new. And I thought, what better way to go bash around in the dirt with these guys? So cool. Anyhow, thank you. I can't do this without you guys. You guys are running us up 5,000 plus views per episode, 6,000, 7,000 at times. So we're aggregate over 30,000 views a month. We don't do this without you guys. So thank you again. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to see stuff, shout out to, there we go. Raphael, just because I'm in a really good mood, boom, shout outs to, there you go. So hopefully it's not any bad words, but we'll give it a shot. But stuff like that, guys, if you have a car club, you have an event, you have something you want to share, send it over to us. We'll gladly help you. And if you have artwork, we'll do you a solid and do one step further. But a little late, Tim. But yeah, anyhow, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Corey, your EMPI Insider, my dude, Eddie Express on the engineer side. He's lagging on his camera. What the deal, yo?
Hey, man, I thought we were checking out, but let's make sure we tell them about subscribing to the YouTube channel.
Great point.
Right before we get off.
As always, guys, you need to stay up to date. You noticed we've stopped streaming on Instagram. This is not a compatible platform for any good quality interviews and media and whatnot, except for a live little face-to-face with the phone. But to bring you what you guys are wanting, please subscribe to the EMPI Facebook page. But more importantly, the EMPI Insider Facebook page, but the EMPI Insider YouTube page as well. And of course, the EMPI page. That's who pays the bills. So with that being said, thank you guys each week for tuning in. I'm Corey. We'll see you next week.